Hi, I'm Mook.
Hey, I'm Chemist, and we're from Orbit Guild from SWTOR.
Right, we're just today going to be talking about, we're starting a new YouTube channel and podcast stylish thing to cover a whole range of subjects. Do you want to tell them what some of them are, Chemist?
Yeah, well, basically, I'm going to be talking about game mechanics of the games, hot topics of game mechanics, overpowered classes, stuff like that. On top of that, we're also going to be editorializing on some of the most important subjects on the forum, sort of like a forum watch feature. And I'm sure you have a couple of things you'd like to talk about as well, Chris.
Yeah, I'm planning to cover the Friday updates or the Friday features and also the midweek updates they do. As they get nearer the game, I'm sure they're going to be bigger announcements and stuff, so we're going to try and cover them in as much detail as possible and just get a general consensus of how people feel about the updates and what they're bringing to the game. And hopefully, fingers crossed, if any of us get in the beta, if there is one, and the NDA gets released, we'll be able to bring a lot more information on the updates with it. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes. You see, the way the NDA is set up right now, we're actually allowed to talk about if we've been in a beta, but we're not allowed to talk about what we experienced during the beta. And a few of our members, including myself, have actually been in a beta, so it kind of restricts the way what the subjects we're allowed to talk about. But we're trying to go in as much detail as we can without breaking any rules.
We'll start now, though, with the Forum Watch for today as our first ever show. Will probably be the easiest thing to do because there's been no updates recently.
Absolutely.
And do you know what I want to cover first? What I think's a highly talked about subject is the damn loot bags.
Loot bags. You see, loot bags in themselves, I think it's a bad idea. I could see the benefits for some people, basically not having a lot of time and having their own individual chance of getting a piece of loot. But in general, I feel it might be shortening the game too much, in a sense that a person can get a loot bag and get a chance of getting his own piece of gear instead of having to fight over it with other members, and it does kind of kill a little bit of guild competition.
See, I disagree with that purely because, well, no, it's not purely because, I disagree for lots of reasons. One of them being, it's helpful for casuals. I know everyone doesn't like pugs and stuff like that, but it's encouragement for pugs to group together because the loot bags are only available, as far as I heard or read in all the many posts, on normal setting only in raids. Whereas, obviously, in hardcore, which is mainly guild orientated, is standard loot, as if it is what it is.
I'm not too sure about that. I've neither heard them confirm nor deny it, and if any of you guys know anything, feel free to let us know down in the comment section. But as far as I've been told, it's going to be all the way around. Everything you do endgame related in terms of PvE is going to be dropping loot bags, or loot chests as they like to call them, and give each person an individual chance, be it guild related activities or not. And generally I feel it's streamlining the game, and Star Wars: The Old Republic in itself already is very streamlined. It's a game that offers classes with a variety of opportunities, sort of like what they did in Rift. A lot of people can tank, a lot of people can heal, a lot of people can DPS. And adding this element might be just pushing it one notch too.
But it might not. It might not streamline the loot because there's no guarantee you're still going to get the loot. The only thing it brings to the table is the people who are in the raid, the classes are in the raid, are guaranteed to get loot for them. Because there's nothing worse than when you say take, for example, 8 warriors and 2 priests, and rogue gear drops or druid gear, so no one can use it. I absolutely detest that system. The amount of times I've played, and in all my MMO experience, and that has happened, and it just makes me, well, I don't often rage, but it gets me a little bit frustrated. So I think this system is perfectly fair in that respect. The only downside that I can see to it, which is what I was discussing with you earlier, is about, in pugs, there's no, say I go in fully epicked, and you go in all blues, and an epic drops in my bag that's worse than the ones I've got, and you get some crappy green in yours, for example. I could be an absolute sod and not give you that epic, whereas in a normal raid situation with standardised looting, let's say, the raid leader could enforce that item gets given to the neediest, whereas with this loot bag system it doesn't.
So you feel that gives a raid master or a raid leader less chance of deciding what you do with that individual.
Well, it doesn't have the responsible adult, shall we say, to intervene with someone going, well, it was my bag, it's my loot. But then again, the stuff might not be the items may be non-tradable. We don't know of that. The items might be anonymous that you get from your bag, so you can't see what everyone else in your group has looted from their bags. And the thing is, I think the actual item rate drop to badge rate drop, which they're going to do, is going to be fairly low anyway. So I don't think it'll be a major issue.
Well, perhaps not. I guess time will tell. But personally, I'm against the system. I think it's too much streamlining. How it's actually going to play out, we will see. And since that we do know that SWTOR do have a token system, or SWTOR, I'm sorry, does have a token system. Basically, you kill a boss, you get a certain amount of tokens, or a chance for a token to drop, and that token can then be spent for gear. How the loot bags are going to play in, and what type of gear you get where, is really what's going to be the deciding factor of whether this is a good or a bad system. That time will tell.
One of the other big, really, discussions that we've seen so far, to be honest, is about crafting. Well, I feel it is. Apart from, obviously, the obvious one, people moaning about CE, because that's a new subject.
Yeah, CE VIP.
Don't go there. You'll upset people. No, was about the crafting, which I personally think, being a non-crafter myself, is hopefully not useless. Like, in my opinion, a lot of MMOs, except for, and God bless it, SWG, where it actually had a purpose.
Indeed, SWG did have a glorious crafting system. Lately, we have yet to see a game with a good crafting system. I myself have almost played everything that is out there in MMOs, and there's not that many good crafting systems out there, but Tor in itself, from what we know, what's public knowledge anyways, release knowledge, non-copyrighted knowledge.
Cover your ass much?
Yes, I have to cover my ass. I don't want a lawsuit from BioWare. They have a lot of money these days. No, what we've seen them cover so far is that it feels it's going to be like WoW, basically something that creates gems, or in this case, SWTOR uses SWTOR. You see, I just did it again. Offers a augmentation system similar to a gem system from WoW. And obviously we're going to have the pots, the healing pots, the attribute pots and stuff like that.
Yes, biggest issue with that as a crafting system is you get one or two professions that rake in and serve a purpose, and you get the rest of professions are completely obsolete. Well, relatively obsolete. Like, you've got, say, armor crafter in, again, World of Warcraft. We've got to stop using this as an example.
Yes, indeed.
They could make like a shield spike, but that was pretty much, those sort of things were their limit. Apart from self-crafted items, which were easily replaced if you'd done any form of endgame raiding, they became useless, whereas alchemy, if anything, got most useful endgame. So the trouble is, it's then pushing everyone into these so-called useful professions, and then it ruins the economy, because everyone's flooding the market with, well, it just gets cheaper and cheaper, and it ruins the economy as a whole for the game, in my opinion.
Perhaps.
So, but I'm not a fan of crafting.
Well, I'm an avid crafter myself, and I think the best way to perhaps change some of this is to use another game as an example, other than World of Warcraft, is Rift. Rift had a good system in terms of crafting. It was still just point-and-click crafting, as we know from other games, but they did add this one aspect of augmentations. Augmentations were basically this item that would boost the crafted item beyond its original stats, and allow it to be more useful than it originally was. So you could say these augmentations could drop from raids and instances, or you could craft them and they would make your crafted item better. This is one way to handle the situation, but personally I think the best way to handle it is add 3 routes of obtaining gear. 1 through PvE, 1 through PvP, 1 through crafting. Make them equally hard to obtain in their own way and useful in their own way. So PvE gears for PvE, PvP gears for PvP. Crafted gear can be used for both, but must be equally hard to obtain. And then you would say, well, how is that be? Well, perhaps through crafting, through actually getting the recipes themselves, long quest lines, and since BioWare has done a lot of time on emphasizing on quests, you could make something that offered an alternative route to getting gear. I think we must not forget crafting. I think crafting is an integral part of any game, the economy itself, and I think it's important.
No, the economy is only about mini pets. That's all it should be about.
Mini pets. Well, you know they're going to sell those for real money, or from the CVIP store. Yes.
Oh yeah. The other final piece of big news, really, which is old hat now and old news, as everybody knows, is the release date.
Yes,
how do you feel about it being in the Christmas holidays?
I feel great about it. I don't care much for Christmas. Sure, it's nice food. I'm especially a fan of duck, but at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that much for me. I think it was a clever move on their part. One, it might piss people off, but I think the most important part is maybe they can shove off the casual gamers and only let the nerds come on that day. Because that way...
You'll be front of the queue then?
Yeah, I'll be front of the queue indeed. I mean, I've already told my parents I'm going to pop by, say hi, eat some food, and I'm going to leave again. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am a nerd. No, Star Wars Jedi Republic is an important game.
The trouble is, for me, is I don't know, got a more full social calendar. I'm going to find it difficult, probably, to play over Christmas. And it's not I disagree with the release date, because I'm glad they just finally named that date.
Decided when it was going to be.
Just, stop the forums just being, when is it released? When is it released? That just done my head in. But
Indeed.
I'm just... I'm going to be spending it with my family and my girlfriend and her family and stuff. So I can't see I'm going to get a lot of time to play. Hopefully, fingers crossed, got my actual fingers crossed here, not you can see it, that the actual head start will come out, obviously a week before that would be, obviously it's going to be, but hopefully a whole week would be nice, because then I can get, as far as I know, a chemist and oops, and the rest of my... you can edit that.
Yes, indeed, I can, but I'm not going to. Carry on.
Chemist and the rest of my guild will get up to, as I know they will. Hopefully I'll be able to maybe storm ahead then, possibly, and catch up with them.
Indeed. Personally myself, of course it's Christmas, I am going to be spending some time with the family, but again, I think it's a good idea. It eases I know it's very important for BioWare to have a very smooth and successful launch, and I think this is one way to do it. I think it's purely intentional. I don't think there's any difference between launching the 20th of December, 22nd of December, depending on what zone you're in, from the 20th of November or the 22nd of November. I think it has the same effect. I think the game is equally ready, and I don't think they're going to be doing that much fixing between then and now. So, in itself, I think it's a move, I think it's a strategic move, and I think it's a smart move. Also, it is by far going to be the most sold product throughout Christmas in the IT or gaming genre in itself. It's going to be a Christmas hit.
Yay!
Blizzard has done something similar in the past. I can't quite remember what product. But yes, I think it's a good idea. I think they're going to be very successful doing it. And myself, well, I'm going to go to Christmas. I am going to bring my laptop. I'm going to bring my phone with a modem, and I will be playing from time to time. It's SWTOR. I've been waiting a very long time for it. Since 2006, that's when it was first rumored. And I'm going to play it. And I'm going to enjoy it.
Good. Well, that kind of does wrap up the forum watch or news for today.
Yes, it does.
A couple of quick things. We're in the future, as the game goes live and such, we're going to try and keep doing videos, maybe 2 or 3, possibly 4 times a week on this. But once the game goes live, we're going to start introducing PvP videos, because predominantly we are a PvP guild. We're going to be releasing just random videos of
instructional
Gankfests.
videos.
Yeah, instructional.
Videos.
You can do all the theory crafting because you're sad like that.
Oh, thank you very much. I basically make sure he doesn't fuck up in the field, but yes.
It's one way of putting it.
Yes. But
anyway, feel free to drop a comment below or hit us up on our forums at Chemist. What are they?
www.orbitguild.com.
See, I couldn't remember, so I just made it look like he should say it.
Yeah, just for the sake of purposes of you not being able to understand what I'm saying, or being deaf, mute, or dumb, I'm going to drop it in the comment section below.
Right, I hope the first show was a success, and the next one should be for Wednesday's update, unless anything major happens before then.
Yeah, we'll make sure to let you know.
Right, I've been Mook.
I've been Chemist.
And we hope you have a great day, and keep looking toward... bollocks. Keep looking forward to the release.
Indeed. Have fun, guys.